In 2013, there were 436 games released on Steam. In 2024, there were 18,965 games released on Steam. This is a lot of games, and your average person barely has the time to play games, let alone wade through all this to find any of the good ones. That's why I'm here, to help you find games that don't suck and that you might not have heard of yet. A noble quest, I know, but no need for your thanks. 'Tis my job as a humble gamer. So, come on, let's go look at some games. Game number 1 is Straftat. Straftat is a 1v1 arena shooter, and it's pretty goddamn fun. You and your opponent are both dropped into a bite-sized map and forced to duke it out with whatever spawns there. Straftat borrows a lot from the classic deathmatch games like Quake and Unreal Tournament, but mixes the formula up with some modern shooter sensibilities and a dash of its own unique madness. By default, Straftat is first to 6 rounds, with each round being best out of 3 on a random map. This constant switching between rounds is part of Straftat's secret sauce, because in the same match you might be fighting with swords one round only to switch to Glocks the next, and then whatever the hell is going on here. Really? Straftat has a pretty decent amount of content with a large variety of both weapons and maps. A lot of these maps are played in completely different ways too. I mean, you got teleporters, falling floors, weapon dispensers. The strategy to execute your opponent is constantly changing. The developers of Straftat mentioned one of their biggest inspirations was the manga Blam, which is best known for its crazy-ass sprawling architecture, and it really does show in this game. Straftat has its own style that reminds me of a mix of liminal spaces and Y2K game design that's pretty unique. Now, the moment you actually play Straftat, you'd think it was sponsored by Astroglide because its movement is so goddamn silky smooth. Even though it doesn't have wall running, I'd say that the movement is very reminiscent of Titanfall, which, as many of you know, died for our gamer sins. But before that, showed us that, yeah, modern shooters can still have fun movement mechanics. I also feel like I should mention that this game is 100% free. There's a $5 DLC that has some cosmetics and extra maps with new guns, which I'd wholly recommend, but there's enough content and unlockable cosmetics in the base game that I can confidently say that this game is truly a free-to-play. So go download it and give it a try with your friends. Or there's also a matchmaking mode if you're a loser and you don't have any friends. I do also want to point out that the devs are two French brothers who made this game specifically to 1v1 each other. So max lobby size is 2, and you and your friends are gonna have to take turns, but trust me, it's worth it.
Oh, I'm dead. Oops.
No!
Oh.
Did you just fall off?
Yeah.
I didn't even know you could fall off the other side.
Oops. Oops. You little bitch, resorting to heathenistic options.
This is my playground.
Oh, no. No, this is so true. He's not real. He's not real. The strat of the barrel.
Oh!
Mizu to Gohan Kudasai.
No! Oh.
Dude.
No! Oh, bye. You almost had me there. Game number 2 begins with a simple question. Who do you want to kill? Cruel is the newest in the line of runner shooters, the name I have personally given to the genre that looks like this. The runner shooter genre is usually roguelike-esque, with the player running through levels, dispatching enemies as quickly as possible, and typically getting some sort of Vampire Survivor style upgrade between levels. Cruel follows this formula closely, but diverges from these games by pushing the player forward with a raging fire behind them instead of having them forced to kill an enemy every few seconds or die. Each floor tends to introduce new threats that adds another layer of hazard that the player has to keep track of. May that be claymores you need to jump over, or birds that crash through the windows to kamikaze you, or perhaps dirty pigs that need to be shot to death instead of meleeed. Oh, sorry, wrong enemy. The gameplay loop is pretty simple. Run forward, shoot baddie, get soda to heal, and hope to have one of those sodas left over at the end of a floor for your upgrade. Which you get by feeding to the dog, of course. Or you could always visit Eric in the bathroom if you don't have a soda, but I wouldn't recommend visiting Eric. Who the fuck is Eric?
Hey, Eric, look at me. Bitch.
The real selling point of Cruel is that it allows you to enter that zen state of murder. If you've ever played a game like Hotline Miami or Doom Eternal, you know what I'm talking about. Nodding your head to some sick jams while executing enemies with style. Overall, Cruel is the most gamey game I have ever gamed. It's nonsense narratively, and conceptually it reminds me of a classic arcade title. For $9.99, I would say Cruel is likely to give you 5 to 10 hours of fun depending on how long you stick with it, especially if you're attracted to its additional modes like the no gun run, but definitely pick it up if you've been hankering for another game like these, because it's a pretty good addition. Game number 3 is Murky Divers. Murky Divers is wet Lethal Company. If you like Lethal Company and you think you'd enjoy it while being wet, go buy it. No, not that kind of wet, you sick freaks. Okay, maybe that kind of wet. But for those of you that need more context, fine. You and up to 7 friends are tasked to travel to abandoned compounds and recover some loot to reach a quota to buy stuff so you can explore more compounds more effectively. Sound familiar? But remember, wet Lethal Company, so instead of a ship in space, you're in a submarine in the ocean. Other than obtaining loot, your goal is to not end up dead while also avoiding the robosexual police force. Listen, it's not a slur, it's really just the best description for these guys. Just look at them. The loot you're recovering are body parts of failed experiments from the company you work for, Pharma Co., and they need you to collect these gross meat chunks to chuck into the shredder to hide their failures, all while not getting killed by their alive failures. Oh!
Ian's dead too. Fuck.
What the fuck is that?
Did you get one shot by the
like the
fucking
jump scare
ghost busting?
Yeah! If you leave too many body parts behind, or too many dead friends behind, you get a bad boy star. Too many bad boy stars? The robosexuals come a-knockin'. Now, even though there are many similarities between Murky Divers and Lethal Company, there are some stark differences that contribute to why I'd say it's even better.
Get out the fucking scooter, you. Oh my god.
Murky Divers takes itself a lot less seriously and has a more fun-first philosophy. On one hand, sure, it's less scary, but on the other, it's also less of that, you know, your balls crushed in a vice-level difficulty that Lethal Company just loves to do. Which, don't get me wrong, I can enjoy a little ball crushing once in a while, but Lethal Company has a tendency to have such a small margin of error that it can just feel unfair. Wait, so you can Oh! Oh! Run! It's got shot! I also enjoy that failure doesn't compound so heavily in Murky Divers. Money can be invested in these mods, which help runs go smoother. Things like grappling hooks, loot finders, a pooping sandy cheeks that helps you find your way back.
Dude.
Mr. Nuts! Oh, he leads you back, dude. He leads you back.
Oh,
Dude,
you guys need this shit.
Dude, we need like 10 of those.
God.
And these mods aren't lost on death, so players are encouraged to purchase them and hand them out among their team. Because it's not $300 down the drain if your troglodyte friend with armor on dies. It's insurance. Now, there are a separate set of tools that are dropped on death, but these can be found around the map and are less important than the mods, which each player can hold 2 of. Everything you can buy has a function in this game, because cosmetics are account unlocks that are unlocked for just doing stuff in the game. Another really nice touch to Murky Divers gameplay is there's actual gameplay that happens outside of the compounds. Like the submarine, You don't just get to point it in a direction and go. Oh no, you and your friends are going to learn how to coordinate and pilot it, goddammit. Yes, with a Logitech controller.
Taking a completely new approach to the sub design, and it's all run with this game controller.
It's left! Left! 15 degrees! Oh, we're gonna get hit again. Fuck it, just keep going straight. We're gonna tank it.
All in all, if you've played Lethal Company, you can imagine the hijinks you and your friends are gonna get up to. And if you haven't, what is he doing?
No way.
What is he doing? What is he doing?
See, he's dancing, dude. He knows we're. He has to know we're dead. Does he know how to lift the anchor?
I don't know.
No.
I don't know what is he doing? There's like a 5-second delay on this too.
Oh, shit.
Go. You have to hold it, and then you have to hold W, and you have to hold W, you have to hold W.
Holy fuck.
Jared.
Fucker, dude.
You get the idea. Oh, and the game is $8.99. Go buy it. Game 4 is Dungeons of Blood and Dream. It's a niche title with an absolutely uncompromising gameplay design. God damn it. However, if you fit into the audience for that niche, you'll quite enjoy what you find. It also looks like this.
What the?
At its core, it's a first-person dungeon crawler with some roguelike elements. You play the Blood Wizard, stuck inside the mind of an unnamed entity, and the only way to free yourself is to learn his name. And for some reason, the bosses of each level have some nice little riddles that tell you the letters, so off to slaying. Dungeons has a steep progression curve that makes it honestly pretty unfair when you start off. You'll be wondering how to get through the second world when it takes so many goddamn hits to kill a slime. But the secret is in the orbs. Randomly after killing an enemy, and always after killing a boss, you obtain a dream orb, which are used in the hub world between levels to upgrade stuff.
Who up pondering the orb?
Listen, I see that it's called a dream sphere, but fuck it, I thought it was a dream orb. I made a joke about it, it's a dream orb now. It's a dream orb. One of the first upgrades is to repair your starting sword, which makes dealing with those slimy bastards so much easier. This is one reason I think Dungeon's unfair balance is done quite well, because the catharsis of finally getting to slice a slime in half after struggling for the first few hours leaves a satisfying feeling of progression and revenge for the player that wouldn't be possible otherwise. There's also a good handful of other weapons you can obtain throughout your runs, with some being focused on slashing while others on stabbing, and the developer seems to really be into swords and fencing, so it makes sense that the combat in this game feels like a dance of popping in and out of range to poke your enemies before they hit you back. Beyond just the meta progression of stats, you also develop a meta progression of knowledge of what things do. Mostly rings and potions. Rings can be found in your runs, and unless you've worn them before, their effect is hidden. However, it goes one step deeper, because you can wear up to 8 rings, and the effect is different depending on which finger you put it on. Sometimes this means there's an additional effect that gets tacked onto the main one, a positive or negative. Other times it means a game-breaking projectile that will win you the run. Potions are a bit more straightforward. Instead of health or mana potions, there are potions with silly names, X and Y, onions and blood, or mint and steel. You get the idea. Sometimes you can make a guess at if a potion will be good or bad. Sometimes you'll be wrong. But some potions can literally be run savers. There's also magic. I never really used magic. It's weird, it's probably okay. You find these blood pools that give you patterns to input to cast certain spells. You can then write those patterns in your blood book. But I beat most of this game's content never using it, so... This game has a few endings, some secrets, a bunch of bosses, and for $18.99, if you really get into it, it's like a solid 20 hours of gameplay. And sure, it's not perfect, but for what's there, if any of this looks appealing, I'd say it's worth the cash. Alright, one last game, and it's an honorable mention. Garbanzo Quest. I don't usually like platformers. I've played a decent bit of them as a kid who was given the hand-me-down Super Nintendo and Sega Genesis, so I've had my fair share of bing bing wahoos, but Garbanzo Quest is just pure fun. Playing a little bean trying to save the world from an evil corporation and collecting friends along the way, what can I say except I like it. With some Undertale-like writing you don't usually see in such a gameplay-focused game, I had a lot of fun exploring the levels, secret hunting, and getting the silly cosmetics. The The gameplay is pretty tight and you unlock cool upgrades that can sometimes make a level significantly easier, but overall it's just a nice casual experience. Unless you play the super secret star levels, that is. It's got like less than 500 reviews on Steam, so it effectively doesn't exist, but if you might have even a tiny amount of interest in any of this, you should give it a try. You won't regret it. Those are my underrated game recommendations. If you have any games I didn't mention and came out recently that you think should be on my radar, let me know down in the comments. And if people seem to like this format, I'll make sure to keep making them, and if they don't, f**k you, I'm still gonna make them. But for now, thanks for watching.